Hello, everybody, and welcome to the color tier list. In today's video, we're going to be ranking what are the best and the worst of colors. Just a PS, this is not a racist video. I'm not ranking this on the skin color, obviously. We are just ranking it on colors used in nature, in design, and such and such. So let's just go like with the flow of whatever they propose. This is, a sort of a light blue color. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of light blue, though it's not like terrible either. It does have its uses. I like when there's a light blue sea, for example, but I prefer a more darker sea for myself. So for purely the use of light blue, I feel sometimes it can be very disgusting and sometimes very beautiful. I think maybe let's put it in a high C tier. Next color. Black. The black color, I think, is one of my favorite colors, and I think, for obvious reasons, for its use, none of the memes or anything. It's probably the one of the best colors. You can dress all in black and you look, like you look normal. You have some sort of drip to you, but you cannot do the same with other colors unless if it's white, which is going to be our next color. And when we're putting them together, I think for obvious reasons, and I know a lot of people down in the comments will say um, white and black is not a color because black is every color and then white is devoid of color. But it's just so stupid. Obviously, they're colors. We see them and they are colors. So there's not this stupid like scientific ranking of changing the colors. So obviously, I think these are the two colors that stand out the most and are most widely used and are probably the best use of all time. So hands down, the goats of the top two colors. A little bit like they're highly rated, but they're rated for a reason, and that's because their use is like almost infinite. So, white and black. Um, put down in the comments down below which one you prefer, white or black. I'm interested to hear your comments. Lime green. Mm, mm, ugh. This is. I don't think it's the worst of the greens, but it's definitely not the best of the what the greens have to offer. I like lime green when it comes with a sort of citrusy, that sort of look. And I think it's not too bad, but I don't think it's any winning, like, it's not amazing in its uses. So let's put it at a high D tier. Blue. Blue is, I think, a pretty overrated color. I think that red is a lot more effective than blue as a color. Blue is I think a little bit mid, and it's always supposed to be represent the good guys and everything like that. But still, I think blue is a bit bad, and overall, it's a bit too overrated. It is, if it wasn't associated with all these things, I think we wouldn't like it as much. And let's say the sea wasn't blue. The sea wasn't blue. We wouldn't rate it as much either. So I think it's not terrible. I mean, the blue is a good color. I mean, it's not like terrible, but it's too overrated. And for that reason, we're putting it in the lower B tier. I can't tell the difference between these two colors. Let's just put them in the same brown. For me, they're the same. Brown, there's a lot of like funny jokes you can make about brown, and it is the poo color and it is the shit color. Um, but they're also, like the dirt is brown. We came from dirt. It can be very like naturalistic. It can be very appealing, very disgusting, depending on where it uses. If it's more of like if a person is wearing, let's say, like a full brown nature type clothing, that can look very nice. Then when it's used like with poo or the colors of a wall, that can look very disgusting. So for that reason, I think C tier, low C tier is good. For me, this blue is the same. I think they should be together. I mean, they're pretty much the same. Let's not like get crazy. Oh, this is a sort of yellow, but not like full on yellow. It is pretty disgusting. This kind of reminds me of the colors of, like the original Backrooms post. So it does kind of have a sort of nostalgic sort of a tint to it, but overall it is pretty disgusting. It's like the older version of white when it comes to like products. Like let's say you see an old Apple computer, this is the color. I think for that reason a low D tier. What is this color? Gray? Sort of blackish gray. I just don't like gray. I'm not a big fan of gray. It doesn't like inspire me. It's always the boring sort of color, and for that reason, I think it should get well, I just don't like when gray is used, unless if it's like with cars or something like that. Like that's okay. So maybe a high D tier. The forest green. I think most of you will actually feel pretty, bad about, like you were pretty offended by my placement here, but I'm putting it in the B tier. The sort of disgusting vomit green, because I like it because it reminds me of the forest, and I like being the forest. I like nature. Um, I like I like nature. I touch grass. I'm not like these other YouTubers, who don't move them in their rooms. I do like exploring, running in the nature and everything. And I prefer the darker tones of nature, meaning I prefer a more foresty, deep forest, a sort of tundra biome, if you will. For that reason, I think B should go. I mean, the green should go into B tier. This just looks like shit. This is not even like this just looks bad. Come on, you don't deny it down in the comments. This just looks bad. I'm sorry. What is this color? Gray? I think this gray is a little bit better than the other one. Uh, Lime green. I think it's not a full F tier, but it is pretty bad. It looks really disgusting. I think on some things. Actually, but it is like when you sort of seen in a video game when it's completely lime green, like as a Tron sort of thing, it can look good, as opposed to the colors in F that they always look bad, no matter what the use is. But this green can look good sometimes. And you know what? I think we're gonna bump up the gray a little bit more, and I think this is okay. Honestly, let's bump this one down to F though. This is a purple color. This is probably the most rare color, but that's not going to bump it up any points because I think only in very rare cases can you actually make purple look good. And very rare cases being like when it's a dash of it on all royalty items, or when it comes to those, those purple lavender sweets. It's the only uses of a good use of purple. Whatever this color is, it just doesn't look good. I don't like pink. I'm not a big fan of pink, and not because it's associated with girls or anything like that. And I am a testosterone-filled man, just joking around there. But honestly, it just doesn't look appealing to me. Pink. There's nothing really that like excites me when I see pink. I guess the only exception is a sort of when it is pink. Okay, sorry guys. I mean when on a serious note, when it is a salmon type pink, that type of pink, that excites me. But I don't like these sort of colors. I know this isn't pink, but it is kind of the same vibe. I like this red, this Bordeaux red. Um, I think this red. Oh, this kind of looks like the sort of Syrian flag or the German flag. It doesn't, I'm not bringing a lot of YouTube marks with this one, but yeah, but I do. I like this sort of combination. I think the red is pretty good. I think either a low S tier or a high A tier. Let's put it S for now, and then maybe we come back to it. This blue though, this blue is hands down my favorite blue. It might go even. Yeah, the thing is that there are some uses where the blue can't be used on everything, as opposed to the colors at the top, which can be used on any like sort of sort of design or anything like that. You can plop these colors and you'll have a good time, but sometimes this navy blue can be misplaced and can result into like an ugly sort of combination. Like that actually looks alright, but like let's say if I do this, that just doesn't look good at all. But if we do like with the red, it could sort of bring out these bad colors. This doesn't. This actually kind of looks a bit ass, but you know what I mean. You can't really go wrong with Can't really go wrong with a dark blue or a dark red. Orange is, I would say, is one of the most underrated colors. It's one of the main colors, I think, in my book, but it's so underutilized. And I think the way that people utilize it in is in a sort of bad way. But still, I mean, it's not amazing. Let's not go let's not go scream at like our top of our lungs because we saw some orange on a piece of clothing. But yeah, it is a bit underrated. And for that reason, I think let's put it at the top of the line C tier. I think pink, you already know what I think pink maybe should go a bit further because it can have some uses from time to time, but it still like doesn't, not a lot of, you know, not a lot of uses. Let's be fair, okay? This sort of purple color, I think it's not bad. Low C tier maybe? I don't know. This lime green color, I think it just goes with the other. Actually, you know what? I kind of prefer this one. I like this one. These are kind of similar. Red. Oh yeah, by the way, this one. Oh, sorry. This one goes here. The brighter red is I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it is just overall less appealing in my books. But it is, it's still a good color that you can't really go too wrong with. And I think red works very well when it is in a sort of small detail. When somebody has like a little red pin or something like that, that usually goes pretty well. Yeah, so I think overall these colors are not too bad. What about this sort of grayish color? Sort of space shuttle type color. I think they should just go with the other grays, to be honest. This doesn't look appealing at all, this color. Whatever this is, I don't even know what color this is. It's just ridiculous. This blue, it just doesn't inspire me. Maybe a high sort of this tier, that's alright. This green actually, this sort of emerald type green, doesn't look bad actually. I think maybe a low B tier. And yellow, I think I think a high B tier for yellow. Yeah, I think this looks like a pretty good list. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Yeah, hopefully you don't draw any conclusions about greater ideas because of this video, but yeah. If I had to change anything, I wouldn't change a thing. So guys, like and comment down in the description below what other tier list you want to see down in the description. See you guys.